Hello everyone, my name is Xavier and today we will be discussing the similarities and differences between the file system structure of a Windows operating system and a Linux operating system. We will also be covering why you should prefer one system over the other from a business perspective. We will compare at least two storage solutions in an enterprise network environment, and finally, from a Christian perspective, I would like to identify the ethical considerations of utilizing storage devices in an information technology system when cost considerations are prevalent. Firstly, I would like to go over the similarities and differences of the Linux and Windows operating system. Now, when we look at the similarities, both systems organize data in a hierarchical structure using directories and subdirectories. Each has built-in access control for user and file permissions and are similarly named with common functionality. Some of the key differences would be Windows uses drive letters like the C drive, and the Linux operating system has a unified root directory, and everything is mounted under that directory. Linux has more robust permissions and ownership controls compared to the Windows OS. And Windows is more GUI driven compared to Linux, which is more of a command line management interface. And in my opinion, I think that the GUI interface is fairly easy to navigate and very user friendly compared to the Linux command line interface. As far as business preference, from a business perspective, I would recommend going with a Windows operating system because it is the most common OS used that I've seen in my time as a IT professional, and you can do a lot with Microsoft applications built on top of that Windows OS. And it's the most common OS that I've seen at every organization I've been at or been a part of. And it's easy to build services on top of it compared to Linux. I had to build a couple of networking tools on top of Linux, and it can get complicated, and it's not as simple as Windows from my personal experience. And I've seen a lot of support for Windows, and especially when you're running a Windows environment for a business. I've seen a lot of support for that too, rather than the Linux side of the house. Now, when we compare, moving on, we're going to compare enterprise solutions. Two solutions that come to mind are network attached storage and storage area networks. Now, for the NAS, it has file level storage over a network. It's great for collaboration, file sharing, and backups. It's simple to deploy, and it's pretty cost effective. Now for the SAN, it has block level storage used for high performance database and applications. More expensive, and it is complex, but it delivers fast data access, and it's better for scaling up. Both solutions require strong access control, regular backups, which you should always be doing, and data encryption for true protection against cyber threats, which all your backups should be you should be securely backing up your systems, just in case there might be any threats. Now, I want to end the discussion to talk about ethics from a Christian worldview, and we can look at scripture and the scripture that comes to mind is Proverbs 11:1, and it goes, "The Lord detests honest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him." And we can and we should, as Christians, apply this to our decision-making process by ensuring data privacy, protecting sensitive information, and not just because it's law, but because it's our moral obligation as Christians to do so. Operating with transparency will also help build this trust and business relationship with our clients. And it lets them know that we're doing everything and keeping them updated through the process. Cost pressures, some companies they like to cut corners, but we want to operate in a way where we're taking the correct steps and precautions to making sure that we're doing the right things and we're staying compliant and doing everything necessary to make sure that everything that we're doing is secure. As Christians and IT professionals, integrity should be our founding principle that we operate on. And it's important that we make strong and clear ethical decisions to build long-term value and trust in our service that we provide. In the face of uncertainty, we must push to innovate, secure, and protect the data that we are responsible for, regardless of budgetary concerns, and to stay in compliance and build resilient networks, architectures to any threats or to prevent threats in the cyberspace. Thank you, and this is my presentation for this assignment.